She's got us right hard, but she's still, yeah. I have to take over. Yeah. I know.
You can't get any good information from
Hello?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Hello?
Hello, this is the Fulton County Board meeting, isn't it? We're here. Okay, I got me unmuted, so I can hear you now. It may be a little noisy, we're on this new speaker camera.
And they sent us transcripts.
I think as set as I'm going to get.
That's my wife.
For now.
Yeah, well, he was only. Yeah. The thing you did, my dad. Four girls. Oh.
I got it from
I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't trying to.
I had asked the chairman.
Yeah. Everybody's got masks on, don't they?
Nope.
Really?
And I think
Who?
for Cindy too, I don't know. This one is.
Oh, okay.
You got one for Cindy down
I got it from Bowler.
Can I go that way a little more, or?
Does anybody else need it?
Okay.
You're good. Yep, I got the whole floor. Well, we're missing.
Mister, take one and pass it along. Yes, oh, gotta leave one for Barry. I forgot about Barry. Okay.
I'll see if I can find it. Yeah. I was looking for a little bit ago.
Okay, I've got everybody.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, I'm ready.
All kinds of stuff while you were away.
Bring the meeting to order. Mr. Platt, could you get a mask, please? We require. Can you run down to the guard? They'll have them downstairs.
It's required.
We require masks.
Just a suggestion according to the
I don't care what it's just not, I'm requiring it.
I don't know if I have a new one with me or not. No.
medical.
What is
Let's
it?
not do this. Can we not make this political? Can we just wear masks?
I think we're just. He just. I just had a pen disappear.
Somebody must have picked it up.
Oh, maybe it's bad.
You didn't pick up the pen.
No, I brought one, I just don't know where it went.
It disappeared.
If I find it, I'll hand it back.
It's at the bottom of the purse.
No, I don't have that much in my purse. Just essential.
You could use it before you pick up the pen.
I don't know where it is. Just have it.
Don't sit on the floor.
There's another one.
Well, you found it.
Way down.
You found one.
How are you doing?
Where'd it go?
I'm the buddy's not gonna be here, so I get in trouble.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Well, this is how I'm gonna vote.
Oh, do you have any more of these?
I'm gonna vote no.
It's okay.
No, I've read it, I will.
We can pass.
I won't be more the same.
There you go.
Well, Mr. Flatt, I'm gonna need to know what your medical condition is, if you can't wear a mask. And I think we're gonna try to get through it this time, but next month you'll have to have a mask if you come in. I don't know why they left you downstairs, because it says required mask coming to courthouse.
Okay, that's not what I saw.
All right. Roll call, please.
Arnett,
Here.
Beck,
Here.
Barry,
Here.
Bowler,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Duchesne,
Here.
Duquesne,
Here.
Hall, Hope, Hope,
Are you on there?
Hudson,
Here.
Kessel,
Here.
Coomer,
Here.
Madsen,
Present.
McCollum,
Here.
Meadus, Meadus,
You won't be.
Platt,
Here.
Spangler,
Here.
Taylor, Thompson,
Present.
Williams,
Here.
and Wilner. Wilner. Can the folks on the phone hear me fine?
I can.
You sound good, Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you.
Quorum present.
Okay, thank you. Join me in the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Esther.
Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us all together to solve Fulton County problems. Look after those that are sick, especially those that are in the hospital. And may you heal them and help them in any way you can. Just look after everybody and keep them safe and healthy. In your name, we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. The ones on the phone, can you hear the ones in the audience good now? We're on a different kind of a speaker now.
I heard Master very well.
Okay, that's what we was hoping for.
Just for those board members that are on the phone, we are live streaming on YouTube, and we're using this new technology here in the courthouse. So feel free to interrupt us and say, I can't hear nothing. This is our first go round with this. So, and if you do want to log into YouTube, you can watch this meeting live. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right. Acceptance of the minutes of the regular session, August 10th of 2021. Motion by Mary, second by Platt, or Barry, yeah.
Barry.
Barry and Ben.
Dan Barry?
Yep.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, additions or deletions to the agenda for approval. One thing I have under announcements, communications, because they're not on there. Cole McDaniel from Spread will give a report. Is there anything else? If not, motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Duquesne,
I'll second.
second by Beck. Roll call, please.
Sorry.
Kessel, Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
and Hudson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Announcements, communications, and correspondence. In the packet, you'll find 9th Judicial Circuit calendar for 2022 holidays. Added one. And next will be Cole.
Good evening, everybody. Real quick, I was gonna have Kathy Brown come up to with Small Business Development Center, talk a little bit about the Back to Business Grant Program.
Sure.
If you want to come there and say something, Kathy.
Could you, if you move over here a little closer, this thing, I don't know how far this thing works, so this thing here.
This
here's
area
the
right
speaker,
here is
so
the best.
it's supposed to pick up the whole room, but we'll see.
All right, let's see how this works.
So, good evening, everyone. Thanks for allowing us to be here. My name is Kathy Brown, and I just retired from University of Illinois Extension on July 1st, and I accepted a position with Bradley University Small Business Development Center to work with Cole and others as part of a community navigator program where we're doing outreach in communities to help them with the Back to Business grant opportunity. And so this is just released. It's been active for almost 3 weeks now, and it will close on October the 11th. That all the small businesses in Illinois are eligible to make application. It's a fairly simple online application process that's intended to deal with disruption that they may have
You
experienced.
just talk towards there, they can hear you very well.
Okay, thank you. So it's intended to deal with business disruption that happened between 19 and 20. Thank you, Patrick. So the way that they're gonna document that is through the online application. Businesses have to submit their tax information and other forms of documentation that help to validate that their business was in operation during that period of COVID. We have, as part of our outreach activities, Cole, I think we've been in every community in the county and spent a half a day or so just walking the streets, knocking on doors, making sure that people were aware. When I go into a community, typically I'm going to the banks to make sure that they're aware of it and that loan officers can help in getting the information out. And then we're going directly to the businesses and talking with them about how they would make application. If anyone has difficulties in completing the online application, that's our role. I know Cole's done a number of those. I've helped a few of them actually complete that application process online. We've been averaging 80 contacts a week of outreach and significance. I feel people have been really appreciative of the process, and I checked Friday night and it could have changed, a lot by today, but Fulton County has somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 applications that have been submitted today. And we're going to keep hitting it. We want as many as possible to apply. There are priority industries, and you probably could name them, just by what you see in your community. The priority industries are those that are most impacted: beauty shops. We're looking at any kind of business that was related to the tourism industry, restaurants. Restaurants really had a struggle during that COVID period. So daycare centers, home health agencies. There's a list of priority businesses that are being considered, and the state is going to weigh that priority business as a priority, and also looking at whether or not they've received previous support in what they're doing. But trying to think as many different ways. So being here tonight, making sure you're aware of it so you can help spread the word in your communities in Marietta and elsewhere throughout the county would be very, very beneficial. But we have been on the streets in every community, and will continue until the October 11th timeframe.
I do have a question, if you're taking a question.
Sure.
And it may be an off the wall, but all of our small towns have small churches, and all of these small churches rely on fundraisers to be able to stay open.
Yeah.
And all of these small churches have not been able to have anything other than just donation from their members. Is there any part of this that would be open to our churches?
Cole, check me on this, but religious organizations are not eligible, nonprofits are. And so I have been to the American Legions. Some communities have a community center that are
Right.
nonprofits, daycare, that type of thing.
Exempt religious organizations are not eligible. We've gone back and forth and asked that question a few times, but they're not
Okay.
eligible. But we've had several calls too about folks
I
saying,
wondered, yeah.
hey, this is exactly what's going on. Is there anything out there? And unfortunately, except for if it's directly related to that specific religious group, There are places out there that have grants of $1,000 or whatever else, but that's usually the churches that have chapters and other places, things like that.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions?
About like landlords that own rental properties in our communities. Here's a perfect example. You can't evict someone from the city of Canton, but they won't turn their water off. They have a 18-month water bill. The landlord's liable for that water bill. Not only the rent, but they have to pay the water bill. Is there anything for landlords?
Absolutely. As a sole proprietor, whether you file that as a Schedule 3, Schedule C, or as a separate corporation or entity, I think the main thing, the main thing to look at as a business owner is number one, in 2019, did you have less than $20 million in gross revenue? And the majority of the time, here in Fulton County, that answer is yes. And the second one is, did you have a decrease from your 2019 gross receipts to your 2020 gross receipts? And most of the time, that answer is yes, but there has been some instances where that's not the case. And if you meet those metrics, you are able to apply. I will even go as far to say as they are accepting some Schedule F items, which I was a big proponent of asking about, is say we're an agriculturally based county and communities throughout here. Can some of those that do file a Schedule F apply? And they kind of said that we can't submit it. Whether that eligibility guideline changes or not, after they get the picture, I don't know, but I am trying to submit those for those folks that do file an F and did see a loss in gross revenues. Because typically that Schedule F is going to be, your cattle and your more specific agricultural items versus maybe just grain.
Anything else, question-wise? The application's open till October the 11th, and so if you do have any questions, I gave my business card. Many of you probably know how to get in touch with Cole, so email or call, and that's what we're here to do, is to try to help individuals as well as communities. Thank you, Cole.
And just to add on to what Kathy said, Johnny, come over here, Pat.
Wouldn't hurt, Cole.
All right. So kind of just to add on to what Kathy said with this Back to Business grant program, we've helped submit over 40. We've helped submit over 40 since the application opened on August 18th in the partnership offices. A lot of folks that said, I wouldn't have applied because they don't have a great way to get the documents digital. They don't have a copier that'll accept their full tax return, things like that. So the technical assistance piece, we've been trying to help as much as we can. So those folks that may not have applied are able to apply. So again, if you know business owners, if you're a business owner yourself, Schedule F, Schedule C, whatever it is, get a hold of me if you think you may qualify, because we want to apply for as many as we possibly can. To kind of add into that, and I think you guys all should have received my report, kind of January to now summarization report of what's been going on. If you didn't get that via email, let me know and I can definitely get it to you. I'm sure Cindy can resend it. But since the beginning of the pandemic, so go back to April of last year, there's been a variety of different programs out there. And we've been able to, be that technical assistance piece and help people apply. And one number I want to share with the board before this Back to Business grant program, with all the other programs, not including PPP and not including anything that we didn't have a direct touch on, whether that's helping them fill it out from start to finish or guiding them through the application. That number has reached $871,000 through those various grant programs that we had a direct connection with, helping business owners in Fulton County get those funds. So I expect after this Back to Business grant program, that'll be well over $1 million, which I'll say is still not enough, but it's great that we're able to get some of those funds back in Fulton County and back in our business owners' hands after the rough year and a half that it's been. So are there any questions about any of those programs or anything else? I think after this Back to Business ones, that'll probably be the end, or at least the latter part of these programs as a whole. All right. I'll kind of buzz through this. Stop me if you have questions. But business retention and expansion visits, it's made it a little easier through these grant programs to be able to go visit these businesses. Like I was saying during the finance committee meeting, that I wouldn't have maybe normally been able to prioritize going and seeing them during a regular year, but because of this grant program and because of the need for people to be able to apply and get the info out there, I've been able to do a lot of business and retention visits, which has led to some really good conversations. It's led to a couple expansion projects. which is great news. And that's kind of the goal of those, and identifying what our employers need. And that's major employers and small business owners alike. What do they need? What kind of talent do they need? What kind of workforce do they need? Trying to identify those things so we can help leverage what the partnership does best throughout Fulton County, and that's help our businesses and help that climate. So completed 72 of those since the beginning of this year. It's probably well north of that now, but the documented ones are 72 for right now. And that's different businesses throughout the county. That's not exclusive to Canton or anything else. It's just a variety of different businesses all throughout the county. As far as the new business and expansion projects, so just to kind of give you an overarching view of what's going on at the partnership right now and has been kind of since the beginning of the year, there are 37 total individuals and or partners that are currently reaching out about business planning. They have questions. They've taken that initial step more than just beyond I have an idea or what do I need to do next? So that's a lot. That's good news. It's been very active. I think COVID has pushed some people into that entrepreneurial spirit and they want to go into business for themselves. And it's been an interesting kind of byproduct of the pandemic. So it's good news though. There's a lot of people interested in doing projects and we're seeing some good results from it. Currently in discussions for 8 expansion projects. Now, one of those was Oil Filter Recyclers, Inc., which moved forward. Their permitting and stuff came through, I think, last month. So they've started that $800,000 project, and we'll add 12 jobs there. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but it's as far south in the county as you can get. I think the gate of Oil Filter Recyclers, Inc. is on the actual county line. So as close as you can get to being out of the county, but they're still in it, and I think it'll be a great project for that area and in addition to their property. And then, kind of jumping down to the job creation piece, I want to lay these out for everyone. These are some of the new businesses or existing businesses that have done expansion projects or opened a business here recently or getting ready to open a business since kind of that January timeframe. So wanted to put that on there so you can really start to look at it. I think one of the highlights, and I'm sure you have all heard, and if not, I'll say it again. Cook Medical is hiring 110 new employees. If you haven't heard that, that's great news. The not so great news is we need a way to help fill those positions, and that comes back to workforce and those kind of things, which given the circumstances and the time and everybody needing to hire people right now, that's probably a byproduct to that too. But the good news is 110 jobs and 110 jobs in Fulton County is big news. It's important news. We want to make sure people know that, and we want to make sure we can help Cook get those jobs filled. So that's a big piece of the puzzle right now, and they're getting some of them filled. I expect to have all 110 of those filled by the end of first quarter 2022. So that process has started. It started a few months ago now, a couple months ago now, and they're moving forward. But besides that, just one quick thing I wanted to add with revolving loan funds. We talked a little bit about it in the finance committee meeting. The partnership utilizes low interest revolving loan funds as part of the small business package for new businesses or business expansion projects, things of that nature. And since January of 2020, we've been able to use $130,000 in revolving loan funds, which has led to $900,000 in total investment in the creation of 14 jobs and at some point additional sales tax from the couple of the businesses that will be retail stores. So been able to get a lot of good things done with those funds, and I think they're important. We're going to continue to utilize them, and we're seeing some success with it. So that's the good news. Besides that, in your email, you would have got the Rural Economic Development Innovation Initiative. This is part of a process that was started before I came on board with Missy and a large group of folks in the county, part of this planning process. Pat, I think you were involved with that. We have a final plan put together. The good news is, as you kind of dive through it, you'll say, hey, we're doing that, or we're having that discussion. And that goes all the way from broadband to small business to support to workforce development, those kind of things. So read through there. Let me know if you have any questions. This is kind of a template that's provided, but this is huge for us when we're talking about grant applications, and really even the county being able to include this with additional supporting documentation for grant applications, I think is important. Similar to that of a comprehensive plan, but just for economic development countywide. So I'll be kind of using that as a little bit of a roadmap as we go through the next couple of years or so. And that's all I've got for you. Anybody have any questions or anything?
What's the timetable for people to start getting that money that they're really get 37 applicants
For the Back to Business Grant Program,
What's the time?
last week.
When did they start?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be last week, but
Oh, really?
the state of Illinois said it would be a couple of week review period, a couple of weeks to start going through that. We're a little bit behind that timeline now, so I hesitate to give a firm answer. I'm hoping that those initial applications that were submitted really in those first day or two would start being funded, or we'll start seeing those deposits hit accounts in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's kind of where we're at right now, but I just hope we don't get 2 or 3 weeks down the road and then it's 2 or 3 weeks again. But
Was the max on that 150,000?
the max is 150,000. The minimum is 5,000. I guess the one other thing I should say is you have to have at least $5,000 of a decrease from 19 to 20 in your gross receipts. And then how they're calculating that is 1/6 of your decrease in gross receipts is what the eligible grant award is. Now, if that 1/6 comes out to less than $5,000, they round it up.
If you lost $100,000, you're gonna get 17,000.
What's that?
If you lost $100,000, you get 17,000.
So if you lost $100,000, you get 15.
15.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Cole.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to excuse,
Yes.
if we can't follow the state county government for public health measures, but it's I'm not really sure what we're doing here, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, proclamations, Fulton County Disaster Proclamation, in your packet, to extend this for another 30 days. Motion by Thompson. Yeah. Hang on, we'll let Patrick read it first, then we'll.
Whereas a proclamation of a disaster in Fulton County was implemented on March 19th, 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas that disaster proclamation was effective through September 9th, 2021, and whereas the Fulton County Board authorizes an extension of the disaster proclamation through October 8th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved that the Fulton County Chairman approve this recommendation. Be it further resolved that the county clerk notifies the county board office and all Fulton County department heads and Fulton County elected officials. Be it further resolved that this proclamation will be extended until the aforementioned date or until the governor of the state of Illinois rescinds or allows his executive orders to expire.
We're trying to save your voice.
I am. I got this loud.
Okay. Now, Thompson, second by McCollum. Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Okay. Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
Platt, Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on, public remarks, we have none. Consent agenda. Motion to approve it. Motion by Duchesne. Second by Bowler.
Duchesne, Bowler.
Yep. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mattson,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yes.
Arnett, Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Duquesne,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
and Coomer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on the action agenda, treasurer's report.
Good evening, everyone. First off, in your packet, you would find the disbursement information for second distribution. So we're at about 49,800,000, give or take 50,000, an amount that should be collected in taxes. So far to date, my office has distributed 33,790,204.26. So we're about 2/3 the way of what has been collected and what has been distributed. We had second installment due date on September 3rd. Property tax payments are still coming in. Certified letters will start to be processed on Friday. As of this morning, when I looked, we still had about 10% of taxes that are still owed, which right now we sent over 26,000 tax bills. So that's going to be right now, give or take 2,600 certified letters that's going to be going out. Those are for close to $5 pop to send those. In addition to my office sending over 2,000 certified letters, we are working on simultaneously the Cuba bond letter. That was just under 3,300 parcels. Those have been printed. It is an exhausting process in my office. My staff and I are doing what we can to get this done. Fortunately, the county clerk's office, some employees have been helpful in trying to get this done as quickly as possible. That being over 3,000 going out, as you can imagine, about 20,000 in postage is going to be spent in my office within the next week. It hurts, but it has to be done. So I am anticipating kind of a bit of a push once those certified letters go out where people will be paying their taxes. There'll be a distribution the end of this month. So it'll be the third distribution. No distribution in October. The property tax sale is October 29th. If any of your constituents ask, the last day they have to pay their property taxes is by the end of the day, October 28th. A postmark is not accepted. The tax sale is first thing Friday morning. So they have to pay in office or have it be to my office by October 28th. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or anyone on my team. Second thing I want to point out, bit of a good, does anybody have any questions on Cuba bond letter or property tax collection or distribution? Okay, moving on. Speaking of property tax distribution, if you looked in your packet and saw my one page that I want you all to look at, if there's anything that you do look at that I provide, we had a good month again. So the amount of revenue for August for County Gen, and again, this is just County Gen, not funds 2 through 87, just County General, $1,199,830.56. Expenses totaled $788,630.41. That netted a surplus of $411,200.15. For the year, we are sitting at a surplus of $865,810.68. Will that be the magic number of how we end the year? No. But right now, we're going to embrace the beauty that it is. And for 2 months in a row, I have said to you surplus, and I had yet to be able to do that since February. So again, good thing that those numbers are coming in. And does anyone have any other questions? Oh, and ARPA, the interim report was filed. That part of it is done. We only had the one expense for the administrative side with Bellwether. I did not put in any of the eligible uses because as a board and the finance committee, you all haven't really narrowed that scope down. And I'm very glad that I did not do that because after the finance meeting tonight, it looks like the numbers may potentially change a little bit. So the next report, if you're wondering what that looks like for ARPA, the next deadline is October 31st. Money in hand, we just haven't spent that much of it, but I think something's on the horizon and that might change. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Stacey.
You're welcome. sir.
All right, moving on to health. Laura left. Is there anybody who's,
They did have more COVID. Stats are down a little bit. Everything's under control though, and their budget's in great shape, but I have nothing major.
okay, thank you. Highway, Mr. Matson.
Need to get a mic stand, have another mic.
Not too much to report this month. County Highway
Yeah.
2 will be back open September 24th. Work's gonna continue. They'll be on the side of the road, working shoulders and ditches. And there'll be flaggers after the 24th. As people drive by these job sites, and when they got flaggers on the road, please give them courtesy and slow down and move over if you can. Them guys want to go home at the end of the day too. And safety improvement project, guardrail upgrade out on County Highway 27, Lake Road. There's going to be flaggers present there too. So that work's ongoing. That's all I have.
Okay, anybody got any questions for next one?
Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Public safety and campground, Mary.
I really don't have anything to say.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Mary? All right, thanks. Property and courts. Remember who's
Property and courts, Roger had asked me to talk to Bill about the ropes on the flagpoles. He said he has already looked at that, and the city of Lewiston will supply him what he needs to be able to get up there and get that done. He's waiting on the city of Lewiston.
Okay.
Also, the other thing that we had was the courthouse phone contract with Stratus, and I really want Patrick to explain this to you, why they changed from what we had already approved.
Roughly 2 months ago, this body approved a contract with New Horizons. And so you guys authorized that contract. The board chairman signed it, and myself and Bill Smick and Stephen Halsey, our telephone, for lack of a better term, guru, sat down with New Horizons, and we were going to pound out this contract, and they started telling Stephen what they were going to do. And Stephen says, that's not what you told us you were going to do. So we walked away from New Horizons. Stephen reached out to this group called Stratus. They're based out of Peoria Heights. We had good conversation in committee. Member Platt had them in his business, said their service was great. We actually spoke with the company that currently does our phone service. They praised this group. So what the committee approved was a 3-year contract. And you have this in your packet, 3-year contract, $420 a month. Just to be transparent there, that's for 10,000 local long distance minutes. We have no idea how many minutes we use at the courthouse. But to get up to what we're paying now, we would have to use an additional 12,000 minutes over the 10,000 minutes. So this first month we'll know where we're at. But if we get to the 10,000, after that is 3 cents a minute. Additionally, after that, $420 a month is the cost of a 3-year. The 5-year was $395. The committee recommended 3, just in case we weren't happy with the service. We would have that out in 3 years instead of being stuck with 2 years left of the contract. But from what we've heard, we checked references. We had board member testimonials. This company seems to be the real deal. The only thing is, the only downfall that we heard was it takes a while to get everything hooked up. So we're asking that you could pass this tonight, and then we'll sign that contract tomorrow and hopefully get the courthouse in the pipeline. And I assured that there would be no surprises after this, because that was pretty mind-numbing to go through the whole process of committee and getting it approved by this body, and then we just walked away. So this is the real deal, Mr. Chairman.
You want to read it, or that's?
There's no.
Okay. So Cindy, you'll make a motion to
I'll make the motion to
approve this contract.
approve this contract.
Okay.
This
Is
is
there a
it's one page of the contract.
Hang on. Second by Mattson. Now discussion.
Sorry. Just this one little page is the contract.
That's I have the contract, but it's in DocuSign form, and I couldn't figure out how to get it off of DocuSign without signing it.
Oh,
I didn't want to do that without you guys saying you can sign it. So I did personally look through it. The only thing that I found is there's an auto renewal, and we're going to get in front of that auto renewal before we sign this contract. We don't want an auto renewal. We want to go 3 years, and then this body needs to decide if they're going to extend it or if we're going to go somewhere else. But that was the only caveat that I saw in it.
Not gonna be any surprises like New Horizon?
No, I vetted that. Like I said, I assured that this was the real deal, and we wouldn't be coming back 2 months later with only God knows what company would be next. This is the real deal. So we have done our due diligence on this. Lesson learned.
Yeah, we used them back when it was T1s and then fibers, so they've been around.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You talking to me?
Yeah, Donna. Yeah, go ahead.
On this other contract with this other company, did we have to pay a penalty for walking away, or did it not get signed?
We paid nothing to walk away. They basically breached the contract because the contract that we signed had certain specifications in it. And when they were going over the specifications in the initial meeting, they weren't meeting the contract that they signed. So we were able to walk away scot-free.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Don. Anybody else? Roll call.
I got Arnett and who?
Mattson.
Okay. McCollum.
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Spangler.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Beck.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Bowler.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Duchesne.
Yes.
Duquesne.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Coomer.
Yes.
And Mattson.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
That is all I have.
Okay, thanks, then. P&L, Ms. Thompson.
Nothing for action this evening. We're working diligently on personnel manual, but we've got a ways to go. Update.
Okay. Any questions for Lisa? Thank you. Finance, Mr. Spangler.
I have nothing.
Any questions for John? Okay. Community Development, Mr. Bowler.
Nothing for board action.
Just cruising along here. Any questions for Steve? All right, Ad hoc committee for reapportionment. Discussion action for the reapportionment. If you find that in your packet. Patrick is going to read it and
whereas 55 ILCS 5-2-3001 provides for the reapportionment of counties having a population of less than 3 million inhabitants and with a township form of government. And whereas said statutes require the county board to use federal census data or the most accurate available information to determine the size of the county board to be elected, the method by which such county board members shall be elected, the method by which the county board chairman shall be elected, and the amount of compensation to be paid the members of the county board. And whereas the Fulton County Board has determined the county board shall consist of 15 members to be elected from 3 county board districts with 5 members to be elected from each district. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the Fulton County Board shall consist of 15 members to be elected from 3 districts as set forth in Exhibit A, with 5 members to be elected from each district. Members are to be elected by a non-cumulative method. Be it hereby further resolved that the chairperson and vice chairperson of the Fulton County Board shall be elected by the members of the Fulton County Board, commencing following the election of November 22nd and every 2 years thereafter at the County Board reorganizational meeting. Be it hereby further resolved that commencing on December 1st, 2022, the members of the Fulton County Board shall be paid compensation on a per diem basis as follows: $60 per day plus mileage for county board and committee meetings, to be paid on a quarterly basis. Compensation shall also include a $2 biennial increase commencing on or after December 1st, 2024, and every 2 years thereafter. Be it hereby further resolved, commencing on December 1st, 2022, the chairman of the county board shall be paid $7,500 per year plus mileage, to be paid on a quarterly basis. Compensation shall also include a biennial increase of $100 commencing on or after December 1st, 2024, and every 2 years thereafter. Be it hereby further resolved that the Fulton County Board has utilized 2020 federal census data to determine the aforementioned districts in Exhibit A, and the equitable representation per district has been certified through this data. Be it hereby further resolved that the Fulton County Board recognizes that the statutory deadline for reapportionment is July 1st, or the day after the regular July meeting of the county board in the year following the federal decennial census. However, due to the passage of Senate Bill 825 by the 102nd Illinois General Assembly and signing of the law by Governor J.B. Pritzker, the deadline was moved to November 17th, 2021.
okay, thank you. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Bowler, second by McCollum. Okay, any discussion? Mr. Coomer.
I have a comment.
Hang on a minute, Don. Coomer's got the floor.
I just like to say, I had a couple questions. One, looking at the district map, that Canton went down from 21 precincts to 13. Is that correct? Patrick?
No, Canton's always been 13.
Always has been 13?
Well, District 1 has always consisted of 13 precincts.
Okay.
And Canton, nothing on this map has changed
Right.
per the 2011 one.
Okay. And the only other comments I had, reading this letter that's in the board packet from Miss Miles in regards to increases and stuff. And I'd just like to say, in my opinion, The county board and elected officials, I think when it was set up on payment schedules, in my mind, it was as a civic duty, not a career job. And I don't think it's justified as taxpayers to increase our pay when we're here to represent them with the best bang for their buck. Now, we have to follow the IRS requirements on mileage per diem. Whatever they said is what the per diem is by the mileage, which we have no really much control over that. But as far as the meeting going from 25 to 60, I think that's very unjustified to the taxpayers, whether you got 21 members or 15 or 7 members. And I think anyone who runs for the county board or a township board and anything like that, that's not a career job. That's for a payment or insurance. That should be a civic duty to your community or your township or your country, not a paid career job. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'd hardly consider $60 a meeting a career job.
I
but-
wouldn't either.
No, I'm just saying, I mean,
So,
I
you know,
think it's safe.
and this isn't roads, that's why here at the board, we can make amendments to it. You can change anything. We can stay at 15, we can go to back to 21. We can adjust the pay. We can do any of that. This was just a starting point. So,
that was just my opinion.
okay. Donna, do you have a question or comment?
I have a couple of comments.
Okay.
I did believe in reducing it to 15, but now I'm beginning to wonder if that isn't a lot of work for 15 people. And to give yourself a 140% raise is acting too much like Congress. This is the taxpayers off. And how many people in Fulton County make $60 an hour? We've got to remember, our constituents are struggling. And $15 an hour is good pay around here anymore. You don't have the good jobs anymore. You've got to remember where this money comes from. We don't have billionaires in our county.
Okay. But you figure you're saying $60 an hour. Well, I know meetings that last, some of them don't last an hour, some of them last more. Time you drive there, drive home. You know, like we're saying, this is all just starting point. Anybody can make any kind of a motion to adjust anything. I will agree with 15, going from 21 to 15 really doesn't make a lot of difference to me. You got 15 people doing the same thing 21's doing. But I'm not going to be here, so I'm not going to care. You guys do what you want. And 140%, but if you drag that out over 20 some years, I couldn't even go back and find where we was set at $25. It's been over 20 years ago. And that's why when I redone this, I suggested the pay increases biannually. So we aren't in this 20 years from now and somebody's saying, well, we need another 140% raise. So you do, you know, it figured out to about 3% every other year. So that's a 1%, 1.5% a year. So it's not out of the realm. But so, okay, Ms. Thompson.
On the other side of that coin, a lot of our townships pay more to their boards than the county board pays. I think there's a lot of work that goes with it. I know I use printer paper, printer cartridges. There's a lot of work that goes into it if you put your heart into it. So the $60 an hour works out to about a nickel an hour. So to me, you are still providing your civic duty while receiving some compensation for your time.
Okay.
Just want to throw that out.
All right. Anybody else got any comments? All right.
Got a motion in a second.
Yep. So call the roll. We'll see what happens.
Our vote is to go with this.
Yes.
Yep, this is as presented.
Unless anybody want to make any amendments to it. Yeah, so.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne, Duquesne,
Yes.
Hudson,
No.
Coomer,
No.
Madsen,
Yes.
McCollum.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. All right, executive session, we have none. Miscellaneous. A motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Motion by Beck, second by Coomer. Roll call, please.
Who do I start with? Spangler? Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne, Duquesne,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
and Platt. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Hour and 5 minutes.
I was closer than Cindy. Cindy told him we'd be out of here.
If everything worked correctly, the copy of this meeting will be on the Fulton County Board YouTube page. We may have to adjust who's in the first row a little bit next time, Mr. Madsen.
It's peanuts anyway.
Nothing. Great job today.
It's not a voluntary decision to run.
Right.